Like, how can these lawyers feel like they did their jobs well when they're literally misquoting what Ethan is saying in the videos to try to make it seem like he didn't say the things that he said? It's like, bro, you're literally just rewriting reality in front of our faces. How can we trust this letter? Whoever wrote this letter just lies at every opportunity they have. Okay, so obviously, like, Ethan lies a lot about Hezbollah. Surprising. As to the Houthis, you do not claim Ethan lied or spread misinformation about the Houthis. One, recruiting child soldiers. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what he had to say about the Houthis. Let's just go here.
The Houthis are an Islamic military group. They're known for their cruel measures, forcibly recruiting child soldiers, shelling civilian areas, and blocking food from entering already famine-ruined parts of Yemen. They've also set up landmines in agricultural spots, making the fields virtually worthless. Women have virtually no rights, and homosexuality, of course, is punishable by death. That lines up with leftist values. Now, just how little rights do women in the Houthis Yemen have? Well, according to this, there's been 1,181 violations committed by Houthi rebels against women, including torture and murder. So, not great. The Houthis have a very wholesome flag, as you can see here. It says, translated, Allah Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, and a curse upon the Jews. And that's all of them, not just the ones in Israel. And of course, victory to Islam. I get amused when these are like, we hate Jews, we want to kill Jews. And then people like Hassan are like, you're f***ing racist for saying that they just want to kill Jews and that they're terrorists. Man,
what you meant to say is Hezbollah is Muslim.
You're not thinking deep enough about this topic.
My criticisms of the Houthis slogan do not factor into what they are doing. Of course, it is anti-Semitic, but contextualizing it matters. Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, that is such Western-focused propaganda. Like, for a Palestinian to arrive at
religion and the identity,
the part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that, yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government going into the South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a...
They brought back slavery.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do.
That line's...
Okay, so Ethan literally says they brought back slavery, and I guess he cites this slavery in Yemen, Al Jazeera World. So let's just like really quickly look that up. Slavery in Yemen, Al Jazeera. Slavery is illegal throughout the world, banned by international convention and treaty, but there is at least one country where it is alleged still to exist, Yemen. In June 2010, a local Yemeni newspaper, Al Masdar, reported that slavery not only existed but was growing in Yemen. It published the story of 500 alleged slaves in the country. The government dismissed the Al Masdar reports and insisted they were entirely unfounded, but when a Yemeni judge approved the transfer of a slave from one owner to another, it triggered a campaign by a local journalist, human rights activist, and the wider press. Bro, how blatant do you have to be? They're like, no, slaves don't exist, and then the judge is like, all right, yeah, you're allowed to transfer your slave to another person. What the f? That's insane. With the help of these campaigners and using hidden cameras, the makers of this Al Jazeera film investigate political figures allegedly involved in modern slavery. Okay, so this is in June 2010, a local Yemeni newspaper reported that slavery not only existed but was growing in Yemen. Okay, and when did Houthis gain power? Houthis. They are a Shia Islamist political and military organization that emerged from Yemen in the 1990s. It is predominantly made up of Zaidi Shias, and their namesake leadership being drawn largely from the Houthi tribe. This group has been a central player. So when did they actually gain power in political power? The Houthis emerged as an opposition movement to Yemen President Ali Abdullah Saleh, whom they accuse of corruption and being backed by Saudi Arabia and the United States. In 2003, influenced by the Lebanese Shia political and military organization Hezbollah, the Houthis adopted their official slogan against the United States, Israel, and Jews. Al-Houthi resisted Saleh's order for his arrest and was afterwards killed by the Yemeni military in Sana'a in 2004. in 2004, sparking the Houthi insurgency. Since then, the movement has been mostly led by his brother Abdul Malik al-Houthi. The organization took part in the Yemeni Revolution of 2011 by participating in street protests and coordinating with other Yemeni opposition groups. They joined Yemen's National Dialogue Conference, but later rejected the 2011 reconciliation deal. In late 2014, the Houthis repaired their relationship with Saleh, and with his help, they took control of the capital city. The takeover prompted a Saudi-led military intervention, so they took control in 2014 to restore the internationally recognized government, leading to an ongoing civil war, which included missile and drone attacks against Saudi Arabia and its ally UAE. Following the outbreak of the Gaza war, the Houthis began to fire missiles at Israel and to attack ships off Yemen's coast in the Red Sea, which they say is in solidarity with the Palestinians aiming to facilitate entry of humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip. So yeah, objectively, like, this took place before the Houthis had power. Yes, that's before the Houthis were in power. They took over in 2014. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can do more research into this, and I don't think the Houthis are really going to, like, buck convention like this, but it is funny that Ethan Klein includes a documentary that is pretty explicitly about the enemies of the Houthis, like the government they rebelled against, and Saudi Arabia, saying that the Houthis brought back slavery in Yemen. So once again, this is like a pretty overt lie that Ethan Klein used. Houthis, okay, and then what's this article? Houthis restore slavery in Yemen. Let's just look that up. Exclusive. Houthis restore slavery in Yemen. Sharq al-Assad. This is the other source Ethan used. Modern slavery is prevalent in Yemeni regions under the control of the Iran-backed Houthi militias, including the capital Sana'a. Sources close to the group, the several civilians have been forced into slavery by prominent Houthi leaders. More than 1,800 Yemenis work as servants and slaves at the residences and workplaces of high-ranking Houthi officials. These including militia's leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi, his brother Abdul Khalik, and the relatives Muhammad Ali al-Houthi. Okay, so a lot of people. The Houthis are working tirelessly to restore slavery in Yemen, nearly 70 years after the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, several local reports have confirmed that slavery witnessed a rise in Yemen during the past 4 years when the Houthis staged their coup against the legitimate government. So it was in rise while the legitimate government was still in place. Crimes linked to modern slavery vary from actual slavery. Yemeni activists revealed that since the coup, the Houthis sought to segregate Yemeni society into rulers and subjects and masters and slaves. They told Sharq al-Assad that the Houthis are attempting to cement these ideas in society by having the Houthi family seize all aspects of the state and its institutions. We do not doubt the segregation because it is the literal implementation of racist ideology that is based on modern slavery and the divine right to control, rule, money and the affairs of the people, they said. A member of the lawyers syndicate in Yemen told Sharq al-Assad that some Houthi elders and social figures still enslave the poor, bind their freedoms, and force them to work without pay. They are also forced to the battlefield to fight for the Houthis. The Houthi discrimination against the people is based on color, race, and ancestry, he said, on condition of anonymity. The masters, who call themselves Hashemites, are now at the top of Yemen's social class. They believe themselves to be of the purest ancestry and have given themselves the privilege of ruling the country and accumulating wealth. They are followed by tribes, workers, and farmers. This class is often looked down upon and discriminated against by the Houthis. Slavery is outlawed by Yemeni law, said the lawyer. Perpetrators can face no less than 10 years for buying, selling, or depriving a human of his free will. Since their coup, Houthis have sought to turn back the hands of time and take back Yemen to the era of the oppressive imamate and all forms of slavery. What is this? The world ignores slavery in Yemen. Hoplite group. Houthis have revived slavery in Yemen. Slavery in Yemen. Let's just read the Wikipedia article on this. It was formally abolished in the 1960s. However, it has been reported that enslavement still occurred in the 21st century. Chattel slavery in Yemen was abolished in two stages in 1962 and 67. Yemen is in Arabia. History of slavery, slave trade to Yemen, function and conditions of slavery, female slaves, activism against slavery. Part of Yemen was controlled by the British Empire when the League of Nations were founded. All right, let's just go to modern day slavery. For someone to be considered a slave, they must fit into the following 4 categories: be threatened either physically or mentally to work, controlled or owned by another person either through threats or abuse that is physical or mental, treated as a chattel, bought or sold as property, dehumanized, restrained physically, or as limitations on freedom of movement. It has been reported that 2 main types of slavery currently exist in Yemen. The first is general human trafficking. The second is those who are not subject to trafficking, but instead still endure slavery and abuse. Such abuse has been reported to be depriving slaves a basic right of access to water unless their owner permits it. Children are extremely vulnerable to slavery in Yemen. Causes of modern-day slavery. A likely cause of the existing slavery in Yemen with regards to the illegality of it is the extent of the poverty within certain communities. Abdul Hadi al-Azazi, a member of the team investigating slavery in Yemen, suggested that because of the levels of poverty, affected people may enable themselves to be controlled by wealthy people in order to have a better quality of life than what they can provide for themselves. Another possible factor in the existence of slavery in Yemen is government corruption, as slavery is easy to get away with and no steps are taken to put an end to it. Besides this, the slavery cycle is difficult to get out of when there is no government intervention or real awareness by the public in other countries as to what's going on, which is part of the cause of slavery in Yemen. If people are not aware of what is happening, they cannot do anything about it. Slaves are inherited through their owners. For anyone that doesn't know, by the way, Islam is 100% against slavery. This has nothing to do with the religion. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back to like the actual focus of this stream, but obviously slavery is bad, and it looks like Yemen got really f***ed over through colonization and the slave trade. In the Middle Ages, the majority of slaves had appeared to have been of African origin, but there were also enslaved people of other origins, such as Indians, Europeans, and Turkish people, as well as an illegal enslavement of Muslim Arabs, despite the fact that Islamic rules ban the enslavement of other Muslims. Yeah, as you say, Islamic rules ban slaves. Funnily enough, like the Bible condones slavery. A tribute of 1,000 slaves were annually sent to Dalek Archipelago to Yemen. Okay, anyway, guys, so yeah, it doesn't look like the Houthis brought back slavery in any way, at least. I don't know. It's difficult to find like an article in this that actually is doing good journalism. Let's just take a look at this Al Jazeera article, which was written in 2014. Oh, this is the same video. Despite government denials, this investigation uncovered evidence of slave labor in Yemen. June 2010, a local Yemeni newspaper, so we read this. So anyway, guys, like Yemen has a history of slavery, and it still seems to be endemic into their country. Obviously, the Houthis haven't, well, it's kind of difficult to find out, but it doesn't seem like the Houthis have done a lot to push against this slavery, but saying that they brought slavery to Yemen is misinformation.
Mein Kampf.
Oh, I almost forgot the most fun one. They brought back slavery.
Literally alive. Like, it's so funny. The article that he cites from Al Jazeera saying the Houthis brought back slavery is saying it existed before the Houthis took power, which is really funny. So, like, yeah, he's lying there. He's blatantly lying about the Houthis bringing back slavery. He's blatantly lying about Hezbollah killing killing hundreds of thousands of civilians. Like, he's literally misquoting the article that he threw up there, saying that Hezbollah and the Syrian government killed over 500,000 civilians, when it's like, no, it's including the combatants as well. So yeah, like multiple ways that Ethan's lying. Okay. So as to the Houthis, you do not claim Ethan lied or spread a misinformation about the Houthis. And then they, like, it's kind of funny to me that they're listing the claims Ethan has made about the Houthis when he's been ranting about them for like 7 months at this point. He didn't just make 9 claims that you can neatly throw into a paragraph and say, none of these are misinformation. Well, you can, like, no one ever said, in the content nuke, Ethan lied about the Houthis. He's addressing his entire like body of work that he's been putting on the internet for the last 7 months. And yeah, are you saying that we can't find a single lie that Ethan's made about the Houthis? Because we literally just found one. That Ethan said they brought back slavery, which they did not do. Let's just see if they did that. As to the Houthis, who do not claim Ethan lied or spread misinformation about the Houthis: 1. Recruiting child soldiers. 2. Shelling civilians. 3. Blocking aid to civilians. 4. Ruining agricultural land with mines. 5. Oppressing women and members of the LGBTQ community. That's funny. 6. Torturing and killing women. 7. Performing Nazi salutes. 8. Flag states death to Israel and curse upon Jews. 9. Captured the Galaxy leader in international waters, not Yemeni waters, and the ship was not destined to or traveling from Israel. And 10. Took the crew of the Galaxy leader who were not Israeli hostage. Okay? Instead, you focus solely on Ethan's assertion that the Houthis engage in slavery. That's holy shit, dude. Whoever wrote this is maliciously lying. He did not say the Houthis, like Noah Samsen did not say Ethan falsely asserted that the Houthis engage in slavery. Ethan very specifically made the assertion that Houthis brought slavery back to Yemen, and now the lawyer is saying he never said that. He just said that Houthis engage in slavery. Insane. So Houthis restored slavery to Yemen. Ethan makes the claim that Houthis brought back slavery. Ethan makes the claim that Houthis brought back slavery in Yemen. That's a content nuke at... Well, I guess I'll just write this down before I lose this timestamp. Ethan makes the claim as Hezbollah and Assad killed 500,000 civilians, and Hezbollah killed hundreds of thousands of civilians and carried out in Syria. And that is at 5609. And then for the Houthi thing, they brought back slavery. Where was this again? He's talking about Rashid al-Haddad
doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant.
They brought back slavery.
It's so funny. Like literally, I mean, dude, how can you how can these lawyers feel like they did their jobs well when they're literally misquoting what Ethan is saying in the videos to try to make it seem like he didn't say the things that he said? And then they're like, oh, well, you said that Ethan says that the Houthis brought back slavery, but in reality, he just said that they engage in slavery. So you're wrong. It's like, bro, you're literally just rewriting reality in front of our faces. The groups are in response to, though. These groups are in response to. Well, yeah, I mean, they were resisting the government. They didn't really abolish the practice of slavery, at least according to what we were reading. Doesn't seem like they've been making leaps and bounds with civil rights, but simply saying that they brought back slavery is a lie. Okay. Instead, you focus solely on Ethan's assertion that the Houthis engage in slavery. You do not, however, proffer facts refuting this assertion. Literally, Ethan said they brought back slavery, and Noah Samsen did offer a fact that refuted the assertion. Rather, you attempt to impeach the credibility of the sources relied upon by Ethan. For example, you attack the article entitled "Exclusive Houthis Restore Slavery in Yemen" from a Sharq al-Aswad English version. The article itself refers to receiving information from one. Okay, so like literally, we don't even have to read this. You cite no evidence refuting the substance of the article or the sources it relied upon. Are they going to talk about the Al Jazeera World documentary? Okay, so what is this? The United States State Department cited the aforementioned article in its 2022 Country Reports on Human Rights Practices in Yemen. The newspaper Sharq al-Assad reported in 2019 that prominent Houthis held more than 1,800 citizens as slaves and servants. While you many not consider, bro, literally just like insane shit. in terms of this cease and desist letter, in terms of like the typos that they have, in terms of misrepresenting what their client is saying in his video. Insane stuff. So they're like, while many not consider the State Department trustworthy, it is maybe instead of saying maybe they're trying to say, while many do not consider the State Department trustworthy, it is highly unlikely a judge or jury will share opinion, particularly based on nothing more than blithe assertions. Okay, let's continue. Further, it is evident you did not watch the Al Jazeera World documentary Slavery in Yemen. The documentary focused on Yemen's overall culture of slavery and the deposed government's denials of its existence. Moreover, it is highly misleading to claim it was issued before the Houthi takeover of Yemen, since the Houthis controlled parts of Yemen as early as March 2011 with the Battle of Sadr. Further, the Al Jazeera documentary was released on September 10th, 2014, 6 days before the Battle of Sana'a and 11 days before the Houthis prevailed on September 21st, 2014. Wait. How does saying the documentary was released before the Houthis took over Yemen? How does saying, don't worry, this documentary didn't take place before the Houthis took over Yemen because it was released 10 days before the Houthis took over Yemen? Guys, I'm actually like so confused. Am I misreading this, guys? It says, it is evident you did not watch the Al Jazeera World documentary, Slavery in Yemen. The documentary focused on Yemen's overall culture of slavery and the deposed government's denials of its existence. Okay, so far it's saying the documentary is focusing on the government that the Houthis replaced. So literally saying that like the government that supported slavery, and that was in existence before the Houthis took place. Moreover, it is highly misleading to claim it was issued before the Houthi takeover of Yemen, since the Houthis controlled parts of Yemen as early as March 11, 2011 with the Battle of Sadr. Okay, so they controlled a city. Further, the Al Jazeera documentary was released on September 10th, 2014, 6 days before the Battle of Sana'a and 11 days before so they're like, it's misleading. It's misleading to claim that the documentary was released before the Houthis took over Yemen, because 10 days after the documentary was released, the Houthis won like a few battles that let them take over Yemen. Your blithe factual assertions that Ethan misrepresented information about Hezbollah and the Houthis, particularly after you watched the nuke, along with failing to disclose or misrepresenting the factual basis for the third defamatory statements, demonstrates you knew it was false. No, it doesn't. He literally did include claims Ethan made that he disproved. And also, saying that Ethan has spread misinformation and just not citing misinformation doesn't amount to defamation. That just amounts to like a lazy video. And Noah Samsen has cited multiple examples where Ethan miscites the evidence that he used. Like he has cited multiple times where Ethan was spreading misinformation. He just didn't back up every single claim he made. He backed up the majority of the claims that he made. He didn't back up every single claim. I'm like really shocked. Like Ethan's lawyer is literally saying, oh yeah, it's misleading to say that the Houthis didn't have control of Yemen because after the documentary was released, they took control of Yemen. What the actual fuck? Like, did Ethan Klein write this? Like, has no standing whatsoever. But guys, consider signing up for memberships. It helps me out, helps my editors out. Only $1 a month, so it's really not a big deal. Your name can be green. That will be cool. And thanks for watching, everyone.